How's it going, everyone? My name's Ali. So if you're new here, I do car related stuff, motorbike related stuff, pretty much anything that has an engine, and I do go traveling every now and then, which I do record that as well. I've just come back from Europe, but anyway, now I'm pretty much dealing with more problems on my cars. So if you're here for the travel, stay, because I will put more traveling videos out. But if you're here for cars, this is what it's all about. Anyway, I've got this Nissan 350Z, which has had a fair few issues so far. So first, the cam angle sensors were worn out. They pretty much didn't start the car. Then the crank angle sensor went out, and then suddenly the car just fully died out of nowhere, like it wouldn't start. So I was just like left scratching my head with what the issue could be, and I finally figured it out, which I want to show you in this episode. It's not going to be a long episode by any means, but it's just something short enough to teach you guys what 350Z's issues are, because there's a fair few of them with these crappy 350Z's. In all honesty, the issues that they have, they kind of outweigh the fun that they have. Like, it's just, they're problematic cars. Nissans are just horrible, in my opinion. I've worked in Nissan dealerships and everything else. Anyway, I'll show you the issues now. So basically, one of the issues that is there, and it's very easy, and it should be the first thing that you should check pretty much on 350Z, is the brake and clutch button stopper. It's a plastic bit that goes over here. So you've pretty much got little plastic stoppers over here. You need to make sure that those stoppers are in place. I've just put a plastic thing in it, but this pretty much has it as well. So you need to make sure those plastic stoppers are in place, or you're gonna have issues. So your car's basically going to think that the clutch is not pressed in, and it won't start. So your next issue could be a starter motor. Obviously, if you hear a clicking noise, like a, that's obviously a starter motor not engaging. But the second thing you need to do is pretty much go into the fuse boxes and check every single fuse and relay on these cars. You've got a fuse box over here. We are in Australia, so it's a right-hand drive car, so it's going to be on the left side, but obviously if you're in America, it's going to be on the other side. And there is more fuses and relays in here on the driver's side. Again, if you're American, it's on the other side. Check absolutely every fuse and relay. Rule the stuff, the easy stuff out, and go into the harder stuff. So the other issues that you may have that may arise is obviously mass airflow. If it doesn't sense that it's, you know, picking up on the wrong air mixtures and stuff. And at the back of the engine, there's cam angle sensors on both sides. It depends if you got the HR model or whatnot. This is the DE that I'm on. And underneath the motor, right at the back, there is a crank sensor as well. So obviously with those three sensors, you're not going to get much action if it doesn't read. So basically do this fuse checks, and then obviously if you have crank and no start, that could most likely be your crank angle sensor, cam angle sensors, or again something else. I had crank no start, but it was a total different thing. So basically I thought it was an ECU, but then yet again I was like, okay, an ECU is not going to go out that easily. And I scratched my head for a fair bit, did some YouTube research, Google research, and all the videos out there, they're just like botched. Like everyone's telling different things and it's not really detailed. So what I realized from a million researches that I did is that the IPDM on these cars, which is this bad boy, they pretty much blow. And when they blow, you're in for like $1,000 plus to replace it, because the parts are not cheap. So basically, when they blow, that doesn't give power to the ECU from the IPDM. Nissan. Nissans and their issues, they're just garbage, I reckon. So basically when that happens is that you got to go from do a dodgy repair like this. You grab a fuse buddy. If you don't know what a fuse buddy is, I'll put pictures of it and where you could get it from, or if you're in Australia at least. You put a fuse buddy in the ignition fuse, obviously 2 fuses, and then you go up to the relay and plug her in. And pretty much doing so, you give power to the ECU while the key is turned. Obviously it's not continuous power. So when the key is out, that's it. The battery doesn't give power to the ECU when it doesn't need to. So I will put diagrams for that and everything else on this video to help you guys out. And over here, do not forget, you got a bunch of fuses over here. Check them, make sure they're intact on the positive terminal. Make sure all these fuses are working, because they're all related to the engine. Every single fuse on this car needs to be checked. Make sure your battery's healthy. Make sure all your ground terminals are connected properly. Like tighten your terminals. Like any ground on the chassis, anywhere that you could see, anywhere on the engine, always triple check everything. So basically this vehicle over here, this bucket of shit, sorry for my language, it's been in and out of mechanics that practically couldn't figure it out. They've changed, this is the spare BCM and everything else, you know, the IPDM. They changed these and still didn't do it. They thought that an ECU was the problem, which I'm not ruling it out. If your car has issues, you need to like take things step by step. Check your fuel pressures, see if you have fuel going to the engine, see if your fuel pump is priming, see if your immobilizer is actually doing its thing and not blocking the car from starting. But anyway, for this episode, I'm just showing you the IPDM, the crank angle sensor issues, the cam angle sensor issues and whatnot. So for your IPDM issue, you practically put a fuse buddy. This is the spare IPDM that I'm showing you. You put a fuse buddy in here with 2 fuses, so that's an ignition fuse, and then you put the wire into the middle for the relay at the top. That's your ECM relay. So basically after you do that, then you pretty much give straight power from here to there while your ignition is on. And all this could have been like bypassed. Obviously these Nissans have some form of electrical issue where they just blow things like non-stop. They are not happy like with sensors. They're just in general not amazing cars, like electrical wise I guess, but engine wise I reckon VQs are pretty good until they blow as well, but depends how you treat them I guess. But anyway, so in situations like this, a test light, a $10–20 test light is your best friend, because this will help you with a lot of things. And if you don't know how to use a test light, it obviously goes to the ground on the battery, or the ground in general, and then you attach it to the positive and it goes doop. But obviously if you can't figure that out still, you need an electrician. Doing any sort of welding on your exhaust on 350Zs, make sure to disconnect your battery, or you will blow your ECM, your IPDM, and possibly your ECU. And you don't want that, because these parts are not cheap on these cars. So obviously the static charge, or I don't know what it is exactly, but it backfires into these electric units and it pretty much blows everything up. And that is the last thing you want, especially like when building a drift car, or like, you know, a fun sit down car where you could just drive around. But obviously this car has given me issues, and I've sorted it out on the cheap side, because stuff paying for a third IPDM. So basically this is the second IPDM it's had, and it's blown it. Clearly it's evidence that these cars have electrical issues, and they end up costing money. So why not just do it the cheap way and the backyard way that actually works, and that doesn't cost an arm or leg. So this ECU issue that I had, not getting power, I had communication error issues with the physical ECU itself. When you plug the OBD port in, it always said, no matter what scan tool I put in, it always said communication error, failed, couldn't read, and whatnot. So that's a telltale sign of your ECU not getting power. And when your ECU doesn't get power, it doesn't start. It doesn't tell the fuel pump to prime. It doesn't tell the crank angle sensors to do what they need to do, you know. So basically, if that happens, that is the dodgiest way to fix it. But it was a $13 fix, and nothing will happen to it, I could guarantee you, because it's got two fuses and it's just powering the relay from one of the legs, which that relay is the ECM relay. So basically you've taken a $1,000 problem and made it a $13 problem. And if the fuses blow, which I highly doubt they will ever blow, because it's on an ignition, it's on a fuse change, that I have run this issue now as it is, with that buddy fuse in place on the IPDM. No issues at all. So yeah, that's basically what it is. If you have any other issues, I suggest connecting a scan tool in it. And if you don't know your stuff, obviously consult a Nissan specialist, which they might do tech cases, and it would just take probably like a month or two for them to figure out at a minimum. So thank you for listening. If you have issues, leave a comment. I might be able to help, even though it's a bit hard to help through the internet, but let's see how you go.